Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on What's Brewing with Jim and Gigi on this cold Thursday morning. I almost forgot what day it was.
I'm taking my earpiece out of my ear. I should mention that because a lot of times I'm doing that.
You're like,
last
what is
minute.
happening? Yeah.
Yep, just clearing the ear. Yeah, cold, and we do have a winter weather advisory in effect this morning. So this is, by my math work, which can be suspect sometimes, this is the 6th time we've had a winter type weather risk so far since early December. 6 times.
Crazy.
We had some snow in December. Of course, we had the big monster snow, the massive East Coast storm that just clipped us that we got lucky on. This is a very low-end event. I'm not trying to scare anybody with this one. Maybe a little ice on a few bridges this morning. I'll dig into that just a little bit.
Okay, great. Well, before we get into that, because of all the winter weather that we've been dealing with the past few weeks, this past weekend, of course, was that historic snowstorm, and of course, this morning's low-end event, but still causing some pretty, can be some slick spots on the roads this morning. Pitt County schools, as well as quite a few other schools around our area, are still under a virtual learning or remote learning. Just so kids are safe, staying at home so they're not dealing with any kind of treacherous road conditions out there. And I think they've been out of school all week for this, so I can imagine a lot of parents are, tucked away with their kids or babysitters. And I know that remote learning can be a challenge. In college, we would have those opportunities where we would think it's a snow day, but of course, with technology advancing, you don't get snow days anymore. You get, oh, let's go to the computer.
I was going to say, when we used to do this, because this happened in the past a few times where there's 4 or 5 days of no school, no school was no school.
Yeah, it was like
vacation. You didn't
vacation.
even think about a book or homework or anything, so those days, I guess, are gone with virtual learning. But still, I think the kids are probably generally happy. They don't have to roll right out of bed.
That's true.
Go stand at a cold bus stop and get on the bus. And I think it's warranted this morning. There's not a lot out there, but we saw this a couple of weeks ago with icing on the Neuse River Bridge. There were several accidents within a 10-minute period. I mean, it can happen that fast in this kind of environment that we have this morning. And I think you want to err on the side of caution. Even though there's not snow piling up or sleet falling out of the sky, that freezing rain, that can certainly create some issues. Okay, yeah. And this is for pretty much most of the schools around our area, but we did specifically look at Pitt County schools and speak with the superintendent there about their decisions to cancel school or close school doors.
As NCDOT crews continue to clear secondary roads, Pitt County Public Schools have been holding classes virtually.
And they are currently teaching their pre-K students remotely. So the students are home, the teachers are at Children's World teaching their students from there.
Some feel the break has been nice, while others are ready to return to normal.
At least she does not do very well with remote learning if mom's not right there beside of her to help her and guide her and keep her attention on it. So it's a struggle for us.
The Walton Academy opened Tuesday because for some parents, childcare is important as they work.
We have a lot of families that work at the hospital that need their students to be in school. So if at all possible, we like to be open.
The adjustment has been difficult, but those behind the screens are making it work.
Well, I think our teachers are resilient as they always are. They're making sure that students are learning in the sense that having the packets that are available if students may have questions about an assignment, and just also excited about having the opportunity to enjoy some snow at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about it as this package was airing. The challenge it creates for parents, especially a lot of parents in the Greenville area who, work at hospitals, essential workers who have to be out and about for their jobs, can be posing that challenge. And also, I thought it was interesting that they said that they were having the pre-kindergartners on virtual learning. Yeah. I don't know how that all works out, but I find it very interesting.
Yeah, I was singing songs, or I don't know either on that, but it is interesting, I think, for a lot of parents trying to navigate no school for the kids, an unexpected break, because you can plan for the regular days, the scheduled days, but when you get hit with a week of the kids are home all week and you've got to be at work, hopefully your babysitter's available or somebody, or you've got an option. I know, because I remember being there a few times, like, man, how are we going to figure this one out?
Right.
As a parent, this is one of the tricky things to navigate when you're dealing with these kind of situations.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's talk about the weather. I know we had Amarachi joining us this morning during the show, showing us all the weather conditions out there. How are things looking right now?
Not too bad,
okay.
I would say, but there is some ice. We've got ice on the cars in the parking lot out here, and once I started seeing that, that's when I really started kind of harping on watch the bridges and overpasses. I mean, if our windshields are icing up outside the studio and it's 30.9 degrees, I'm going to give you exact numbers because it's critical in this kind of state. 30.5 to about 31.5, 32 degrees most areas. Cold enough for ice. Let me give you a look out there. Washington, one of those spots at freezing. So a little glazing taking place on a lot of surfaces out there. Still snow to be found, especially where it's been plowed. Many areas. Headlines for the day today. We're talking the morning light mix. We'll squeeze that in there as well. And then this afternoon, it'll just be clouds hanging around. I think any precip as we get to lunchtime will be generally done. And there is the chance for a stray snowflake, but I haven't seen it yet. And that probability looking pretty slim. But don't be shocked if you see a stray flake or two here or there. Highs later today, mid to upper 30s. Subtract 10 for your wind chill. Never feels like we get out of the 20s, that wind 10 to 20. Winter weather advisory, much lower impact event than the winter storm warnings and those type storms, last one, the historical storms. So yeah, there's the radar, and I'm not getting much on it. Patchy, light, freezing, almost drizzle to light raindrops south of Highway 64 and generally along and west of Highway 17, I'll say. Lenoir County, Wayne, Duplin a little bit, Pitt County, Greene County, Beaufort County as well, towards maybe Old Ford, up into Terracea area as well. Maybe Bath, a little freezing rain. And again, a little bit of that. You got a little ice. You get some slick bridges here and there. Be careful on the roads. Widespread 32, 31 degree air temps. They're right on the coast. You're above freezing by a few degrees. No issues on the Outer Banks. And you can see Carteret County near freezing. That's why part of the county, the western portion, is in that advisory this morning. All right, this is the model data. We'll take you into 9, 10, 11 a.m. And this reflects well with what we're seeing now. Patchy, light precipitation. The model's trying to show a snowflake or two there, that white to bluish shading. I don't know. I think that's a long shot. The freezing rain, the primary variable, if you will, in that mix. All right, afternoon, it's clouds with no precip. Air temp, struggling to hit 40. It won't get there, I don't think. With the clouds and the north wind, we're just a few clicks above freezing, and that's it this afternoon. All righty, potential ice accumulation. I meant to drop that a little lower before we got over here. A glaze to maybe a few hundredths, 0.05. A thin glaze of ice here and there. Again, it does not take much on a bridge before your car is slipping and sliding away. If you're on a bridge and you feel like, feels like I'm losing traction, keep that steering wheel straight. You start turning the wheel, that's when you can really get into trouble in a hurry. Slow it down a little bit. Billy down there in Emerald Isle, good morning. Glad to hear you checking in this morning. 35 down there right on the water. George throwing out a good morning as well. Yvonne and Steve. Happy you're with us, guys, on this cold and kind of dreary morning. That light wintry risk through late morning. Again, generally light rain and light freezing rain around with that thin glaze. The bridges and overpasses and exposed walkways. Anything wind or air gets underneath gets colder than the ground surfaces. All right, that's why we harp on those open stairways as well. They glaze over in a hurry. Satellite radar, that was yesterday evening. Good solid half an inch plus of rain that we needed. And then the lingering wintry mix light. I got to keep sticking that word in. Patchy light wintry mix this morning. Wind 10, 15 into the afternoon. Sustained winds. Gusting double those numbers, 20, 25 on wind gusts. Thus the biting wind chills today. Tomorrow we'll get the winds down and southwesterly under 10 tomorrow. So not as bitter cold tomorrow. In fact, with the sunshine, I think we'll hit the mid-40s with wind chills not far behind, under 10 on the winds. But today, just not fun out there. The news gets so good next week. I'll get there in that 8-day in just a sec. The big map, we'll stretch it out. Actually, I'm going to jump to that 8-day. Looks like we're getting tight on time. There's the low off the coast. That'll scoot away, and we'll go quiet. Cold through the weekend. The Super Bowl weekend forecast, mostly sunny. That little precip chance I've got Friday evening, a raindrop or two. No worries there. And then the weekend highs in the 30s. That 37 Saturday, a windy 37. I will feel like the 20s all day Saturday. Cold, cold, cold Saturday. And then next week, goodbye cold air. Finally, not for a day or two, but a building ridge. Climbing temps, probably 60s the way it looks now. By the time we get to Wednesday and Thursday, boy, is that going to feel good. We're not going to know how to act. Quite
Not
honestly.
at all.
I've got to check when the last time we saw 60 was. It's been a heck of a run.
It feels like forever ago.
Yeah, and it has been forever, I think. So 60s as we get into late next week. That could change, but I'm seeing good agreement in the models. My confidence was much higher this morning going on air and talking about
Good.
that mild air, and that's what you want as a meteorologist.
Yeah, and you could tell by the way that you're also presenting it too.
tone,
You're
yes.
very excited, making
You
me
can
really
read
excited.
between the lines.
Yeah,
You
totally.
can tell. Yep.
All right. Well, yeah, of course. Just be careful on the roads this morning with that potential for black ice and patchy spots out there. But we also want to mention today is National Weather
yes.
Person's Day, so. Happy National Weather Person's
Thank
Day,
you.
Jim. Thank you
Yes.
so much for all that you
The fact
do.
that we have a day for this
It's
is
great.
pretty amazing.
It's wonderful. I'm so glad that I just found it on Facebook. I was scrolling through and I was like,
I
oh my gosh,
forgot.
I have to figure out if it's today, if it was yesterday. It is today. Thank your local meteorologists. They've been really, really busy these last few weeks because of all of this winter weather out there. You guys have been hard at work, clocking in overtime. Thank you again for all that you do.
It was a busy week, no doubt. Yeah, when you come in, if you're going to be watching Charlie, I know he'd love to see those little happy
Yes.
meteorologist notes on there. And, of course, the rest of the guys as well. I believe Dustin's doing the noon today. I think Zach's off tonight. Might be Russell in tonight. But, yeah, like Gigi said, get online and say, hey, guys, thanks for all the hard work. You can throw a little jab in on a forecast, too. We're used to that.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to be back again at 8 a.m. for another news and weather update. Hope you can join us then. Have a great Thursday.
Bye.